Episode 15. Heaven's Path Divine Art. At the Englewood Academy, even those top sects might not have perfect cultivation techniques. Besides, even if they did have perfect techniques, it was hidden deep inside the sect, unobtainable for normal people. What Xavier wanted to do was create such a skill so that his training would be more efficient, hastening his cultivation's rate of rise by leaps and bounds. I don't have any level 4 cultivation methods. Let me go to the Teacher Discovery Pavilion to take a look. Practicing the Englewood 9-level formula, the cultivator could only retrieve the secret manual for the next realm after breaking through their current realm. At this moment, he only had the cultivation method for level 3. He had yet to see the one for level 4. Walking out, the sun hadn't been set for too long. There were still quite a few passers-by on the road. The bright moonlight reflected on the surface of the pavement, casting a layer of silver. A few couples, who had just tasted the forbidden fruit, were snuggling under the tree as they whispered sweet nothings to one another. Xavier didn't pay too much attention to the serene atmosphere of his surroundings. Instead, he hastened his footsteps, soon reaching the giant pavilion. The Discovery Pavilion was split into two main sectors, teacher and student. Within it lay an inventory of all kinds of secret manuals and cultivation techniques. It was one of the most important locations in the entire academy. Master Mo! Walking to the entrance, he bowed to an elder who was sitting close to the great door. Master Mo was one of the guardians of the Discovery Pavilion. It was unknown what realm he had reached, but it was said that he was ranked among the top in the academy in terms of his strength. However, as he hadn't fought for many years, no one was certain of his actual strength. Master Mo looked over and stroked his sparse beard.
You're here. You have reached fighter level 4.
It's just luck. Xavier didn't try to conceal the fact that he had reached fighter level 4.
Good. Train harder. The academy still needs young blood like you.
Master Mo nodded his head in satisfaction. Yes, sir. Xavier responded, lifting his leg to walk into the room. The moment he left, Master Mo shook his head and lamented.
He is a good child, just lacking a little in talent and slightly too slow in his cultivation.
Other cultivators took around 2 years to break through fighter level 3, whereas Xavier took a whole 3 years to do so. His talent was indeed subpar.
Upon reaching fighter level 4, if he were to train properly, he should be able to become an average teacher. I just hope he doesn't score too badly on his teacher qualification examination next time.
After muttering to himself for a bit, Master Mo shut his eyes once more. Xavier was one of the more polite ones among the numerous young teachers. Master Mo didn't necessarily like him, but he didn't dislike him either. He simply found his lack of talent lamentable. Oblivious to the mutterings of Master Mo, Xavier walked into the Discovery Pavilion. Although the Englewood Academy's Discovery Pavilion was one of significant size, nowhere paled in comparison to the working location of his previous life. It was still much smaller than the Library of Heaven's Path in his mind. He walked quickly to the 4th row of the Cultivation Techniques section. Indeed, the Englewood 9-level formula, level 4 cultivation technique, was there. Reaching out to grab it, he casually flipped through it. A similar secret manual appeared in his mind. Taking a look, it was around the same as the one for level 3, with more than 1,000 flaws. There are other secret manuals here. Let me take a look at them as well." After his previous experience with breaking through, Xavier didn't focus on the flaws. Instead, he looked towards the bookshelf in front of him. On the fourth row of the bookshelf, there were a huge number of different kinds of cultivation technique manuals. They were all cultivation techniques for level 4, with plenty of notes and explanations in them left behind by predecessors. Just by a rough look, there were a few thousand of them. If it had been someone else, their eyes would have blurred from the sight. After all, there were so many books with countless notes left in them. Furthermore, some of the theories for the cultivation techniques were at odds with each other, so it was hard to gauge which one was the right one. If one were to randomly cultivate without knowing better, it was possible for them to go berserk. However, Xavier was different. Possessing the Library of Heaven's Path, he was capable of telling which one was the right one. He didn't hesitate to grab a book and flip through it. A similar book appeared in his mind. Xavier didn't stop, picking up the next one. He wasn't browsing through them, nor picking them. Rather, he was trying to increase the number of books in the Library of Heaven's Path so that he could derive a more precise cultivation method. The sound of flipping pages filled the room. A weak will. Impatient and unrealistic. Hearing those words, Master Mo frowned. Since Xavier had already chosen to cultivate in the Anglewood 9-level formula, then he shouldn't be thinking about any other skills. Instead, it was better to make use of his time to copy the formula for the level 4 so that he could analyze it and start training. Although it was possible to make use the strengths of others to make up for the flaws of one, the more miscellaneous knowledge one read, the easier it was for one to get impatient and rash. In the end, it was a small thing if he achieved nothing. If things went wrong, it was very possible for him to go berserk and ruin his cultivation. 30 years ago, a talented genius who thought he was much greater than others insisted on looking through the various cultivation techniques to create an ultimate one tailored to him. In the end, due to reading too many manuals, he became uncertain of the route he should adopt. As a result, his cultivation went berserk. Not only that, but he lost his mind as well. For him to take 3 years to break through the Gleam Realm, his talent was apparent. With such talent, he should have just obediently cultivated level 4 of the Anglewood 9-level formula. Yet, he chose to flip through other manuals. Was he just seeking a thrill? Master Mo shook his head in disappointment.
Putting on a show just to obtain the fleeting praises of the crowd?
He realized that Xavier was casually flipping through without taking a careful look at them. Master Mo's eyebrows knit even closer together, feeling more and more disgusted with him. If one were to study those manuals closer, they would obtain some knowledge on them. However, Xavier was simply casually flipping through them. At that speed, not even Master Mo himself would have been able to look through the contents properly. So what could a young man who had just reached fighter level 4 see? Now he was truly putting on a show to obtain the fleeting praises of the crowd.
The Academy's culture really is going downhill, getting worse with each passing generation.
Master Mo sighed. He shut his eyes, choosing to ignore Xavier and his rash behavior. Xavier was able to finish flipping through a normal manual in just 1 or 2 breaths. In 2 hours, he had finished browsing through all the cultivation manuals, and thousands of identical books had appeared in the Library of Heaven's Path. Time to return to assess them. Knowing that his aim had been achieved, he smiled and walked towards the door. Seeing him leaving empty-handed, Master Mo couldn't resist asking.
You aren't going to copy any notes?
No, I was just casually taking a look. Unsure what Master Mo was getting at, Xavier smiled and walked out the door. Master Mo waved his hand in anger.
Taking a casual look? Ridiculous! The Academy should punish this young man. How can such a frivolous person be a teacher?
Cultivation manuals were the core of every cultivator. According to Master Mo, every cultivator should hold some respect towards them. However, Xavier had only come to take a look, casually flipping through them. His behavior was unacceptable. Master Mo began to think about having a talk with the principal to discuss the teachers who were sullying the culture of the academy. Returning to his living quarters, Xavier took out a pen and paper and flipped through the Englewood 9-level Formula Level 4 manual to copy down the correct portions of it. Then he took out another book and copied down the correct portions as well. After flipping through a few of them, Xavier rubbed his temples. It was actually quite troublesome and tiring to flip through a few thousand books like that. It wasn't as simple as he thought it would be. Just when he was thinking about how he could hasten his pace, his mind suddenly jolted again. The thousands of books that were just compiled in the Library of Heaven's Path crumpled and slowly merged as one. There wasn't any name on the book. Xavier proceeded to casually flip through it. This is the compilation of the correct routes in the secret manuals? Xavier's face flushed red from excitement. Previously, he had worried about how he'd be able to find the correct route out of thousands of books. Never in his dreams did he expect that the library would compile it automatically. This book, there isn't a single flaw in it. The book was no longer the Englewood 9-level formula, nor was it any of the individual manuals that had been compiled into it. It was truly something no one had ever seen before. Since it's the correct method chosen and compiled by the Library of Heaven's Path, I'll call it Heaven's Path Divine Art. As though sensing his thoughts, the empty cover trembled, with 4 words appearing on it. Heaven's Path Divine Art.